in Romans 3:23 that all have sinned, which is completely false. How do I know? Because the book tells me so. Don't you believe it? Genesis 6:9 says Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Job 1:1 and 1:8 say the same of Job. So obviously these men couldn't have been sinners. How could you be a sinner and be perfect? The Bible has thousands of contradictions, problems, and errors. And if you'll only bear with me, I'll prove as much in the months to come. But you have to be reasonable. I can't cover the entire book in one issue, or in our case, one program. Quoting from a book is fruitless unless you first prove the book is truthful, valid, and reliable. I provided evidence the Bible is deficient in each respect. Instead of proving my evidence to be false or invalid, instead of proving the book to be valid and inerrant, you merely assumed as much and proceeded to quote at will. Don't you believe the Bible when it says in 1 Thessalonians 5:21, quote, prove all things, unquote? What have you proven? Nothing. Where's your reasoning? Nowhere. The Bible says in 1 Peter 3:15, quote, always be prepared to make a defense to anyone who calls you to account for the hope that is in you, unquote. Where's your defense? I've heard none. Or is hope all you have? Mere assertions prove nothing. Incidentally, you sent me a tract that implies people are wicked and sinful, while you seem confident that you abide in Jesus. Yet the Bible says in 1 John 3:6, quote, no one who abides in him sins. If you abide in him as you believe, then you're saying you no longer sin. Surely you're not saying that. My friend, with all due respect, if there's any verse in the Bible that you and those of like mind should commit to memory, it is Proverbs 14:15, which says, quote, the simple believeth every word. I repeat, the simple believeth every word, and that reflects your attitude toward the Bible completely. But the prudent man looketh well to his going. In the second letter, our critic said, quote, you say quoting from a work is fruitless unless you first prove the book is valid, truthful, and reliable. Have you proved the works of Ingersoll and Payne, a couple of atheists and infidels, are more truthful, valid, and reliable than the Bible? If so, please explain to us dum-dums how you so ingeniously accomplished this fact, unquote. In response to this, I stated, quote, to begin with, my friend, you obviously have not read the theological works of Thomas Paine. He was a deist, not an atheist. Read The Age of Reason, and you'll clearly see that he strongly believed in a God. It's the Bible he denounced in no uncertain terms. Secondly, I use accurate statements from Ingersoll and Payne's writings, but I'm not supporting everything they said. They never claimed the perfection for themselves that you are claiming for the Bible. Thirdly, quotes from these men are used to disprove the Bible's validity, not to propound a position. Are we discussing an inerrant Bible or the infallible philosophy of Ingersoll and Payne? They don't have to be perfect in everything they wrote to prove the Bible is erroneous and imperfect. They aren't on trial. The Bible is. It's claiming perfection. They aren't. Fourthly, if there's any infidel, it's you. You lack fidelity to logic, evidence, science, and reason. Infidelity depends upon one's perspective. And finally, I've never said you and those of your persuasion are dum-dums. Name-calling and pejoratives only build walls, not bridges. The real problem is that you have been indoctrinated with a lot of erroneous ideas and have been kept isolated from a mountain of information that is extremely important. If only you had heard the truth from the beginning, you'd be far better off. That completes our presentation, and please join us later for the 10th edition of Biblical Errancy Commentary, when we'll continue showing why the Bible is nothing more than the flawed composition of some fallible human beings. Thank you for listening.